All right, I think what I'm gonna do before I paint is I'm gonna do this silicone, all my seams and whatnot, and it's paintable and it is mold and mildew resistant, which is highly recommended in here. Sorry about the noise, you need the light. I went with a super small tip. So I'm gonna less clean up the better. I think I will go on top of this plastic. I don't know. Should I? I don't think I need to do that. That's fine. Up here, you can't see. But I think I need to do here. Yep, falling off the edge. Yeah, I'm just gonna put like this. This is not a good. Not square. We got all sorts of gappage here. I'm going to stop there because I'll just do my fingers and see what happens. Finger's good because it just contours. Okay. All right. Did all the hacking. Here's a semi-pro tip for you. I did up under on top of all the trim, but let's remember, the turlet's going to be sitting here, so you're going to be down here. You want to look for any gaps like underneath that are going to be hideous. You know, like who wants to look at that? You know, that hack work that I just did. You know, bathroom's a low area sometimes. I mean, I still have to paint in here, so that'll hide a lot of this stuff. But don't forget the floor, you know? Get down there, bend the knees and look up. All right, I had good luck with that carpet seam sealer. This one's good. It's just got a little pop here. I mean, I go over with the shop vac, it doesn't lift, but I think I'm just gonna reach under and glue this. I'm not worried about it. So that's gonna be, and then I'll just put some weights on here to take care of it. Reach under there. Oh yeah, got a good squirt to it. Thing, could do this. You know, that's what a carpet stretcher does, and it didn't cost anything. Oh, did I ever show this? I hope I did. See, I cut this short, so I had these two little thin pieces falling off. Look at them, hard as a rock. Yet they, well, not hard as a rock, they flex, but that's some good stuff, that glue. 8015 Roberts. I am going to want some weight for over here too. I think I glued this down, or I started to. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little of that under there. Professionally done. That's going to do the same here. Why not? So go way over here, do anything over here. Oh! Liberally, we call that. Unlike what Mike usually does, sparingly, trying to conserve everything. This is good for the knees, especially that meniscus you tore when you moved in here and you're still fighting. I mean, no one's going to be in this corner. One thing is a vacuum. You know, a vacuum might rip it up, but I don't know. I think it's going to be good. Just put a bunch of heavy things on here. Call it good. I kind of want this one right here. Yeah. Okay, little update. Been working after work. Got the door on. We're all painted in here. Have not been filming. I've run out of space on this phone. I have to sit down and edit these videos so I can make room. My computer, this phone actually has better capability than a freaking computer. It's hilarious, but someday we'll up our editing game. But we are all painted, primed, and obviously caulking and such. That's all done. I put another panel here, like real thin stuff. Caulked it in so you can't even tell. I did all that. Did the caulking up in here, all in the corners. I may have to do a little bit up here. There's these two there's two holes where this joins. And that's probably why people come down all the way to the ledge with, the drywall. But, that would make an angle. I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to do it. And it's not very clear, and everyone does it different. So my trim is good, but we did caulking all the way around. The only thing that's weird is this little channel here where you can see the screws. People do mud right up to it. I might put another piece in here. My dad wanted to get something. It's even magnetic. It just sticks to these, but we'll see what happens. Today I think I'm going to try and tackle this floor. This is what I got. Some Traffic Master, cheap stuff. But I'm just going to start in this corner. I probably won't film. Like I said, I'm running out of space here. So the only one, this one has to be deeper in. And then so I'm going to have to shave... like an inch off of these pieces. And then it's just smooth sailing all the way across. There's a notch for that pipe, notch for the toilet. That's going to get covered. And it doesn't matter because the vanity is going to be there. So in theory, I don't even have to go under the vanity, but I will do that. All right, we're coming along here. I'll tell you what I know so far. How about that? First off, your floor has to be pretty level. I'm finding that, just that little stuff. I thought these were softer on the bottom and they would absorb, but they're not. And these are very fragile. That's just hitting with a rubber mallet. So you got to use a piece of wood before you do that. So they chip pretty easy. Like even putting them together, you got to killing a few boards. So you got to be really careful. And they really got to click in and down. And you can see this one cracked already. I'll see if I have enough. I may have to get another box, but maybe not, because I'm just going to go to there. I really don't have to go underneath there, but I'd like to. Check that out. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but she's pretty much done. Don't forget to leave a 1/4 inch all around for. It is a floating floor. They say it expands. Don't like this seam right here. See how it's lifting? I have 4 extra boards, so I might swap that one out. And it happened to another one. Yeah, this one's cracked. And very hard, very, very gentle. Got that last board in. I'm gonna have to put a little corner bead trim there. I forgot that trim is already on the wall. Whereas these, I still have the trim to put on the wall. So it's short, but I'll put like a nice quarter moon molding. Hide that. The vanity comes to right here. So I need little pieces, I guess, to do it right. Or I could just do the whole thing because these are just kind of resting in there. And that's going to be under the vanity. We don't care about that. All right. And I got the baseboard for there and there. All right, doors back in. I had to shave the bottom because I raised the floor and it was hitting. So give it a little gap for airflow, which is good too. I have to put a stopper there so we don't smash that. Cut that trim, put it on. It needs to be, caulking and make it look a little prettier. Vanity here. Well, I should make a piece for there. Maybe I will. I don't know. Finish the floor. Got pieces all the way. Got to get some 1/4 trim for there. I did have a piece for here. It needs to be painted. white plastic. That's better than having a gap there for water. Oh, and there's a smoke detector going off. Put that back on. Oh, what else? What else? Man, looking good. Maybe I'll pop the vanity in here so we can get what it really is going to look like. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Look at all the room for activities. I mean, that's a good 18 inches in between the two. I could put a double vanity in here. And then, yeah, there's like plenty of room over here to put clothing, towel racks, whatever. That's something I didn't even think about, is that does not sit flush. I do like that. It's pitched backwards. We don't want that. I think a little pitch is good. That way water drains. I don't think you want it level. I could easily correct that by notching that to go right against the wall, which I think is what I'll probably do. And I do have a cabinet over there that goes up here. Let's grab that. You know what? It was yeah, a little high pitch there. You know what? That was there with the old vanity, and it fit. Obviously, this one's a little taller. I don't want to. I was thinking, cut all this top right off. You can still use it as a shelf, but maybe just leave it there or over there somewhere, or even on that wall. Can even put it on now. It'd be weird on the side, and get a mirror for here. I don't know. Decisions, but yeah, I think I'll notch that. I'm gonna get that back. Floor came out good though. Took those other pieces out that were splitting, and not bad. I mean, I was close to noon. I was almost done. I think I started a few hours, 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. Here's said cabinet. I think I'm just gonna leave it until somebody moves in. I'm like, ask them, hey, do we want it here? You want it over here? It's too short for there, or it's too tall rather. But yeah, I got this level. I put a piece of trim here, kind of hide that gap, and what was damaged there too. But I got one of these. These are my favorite door stops, so we don't smash into that. They just go on the hinge. They're quite nice. So we go up that top hinge bolt there, and we just slide that over. Whichever way it goes, I don't know, but it's got an adjustment, so we'll slap that on. All right, I had to pull a little bushing out of it because it didn't fit. Probably because it's an old style hinge. The new ones are thinner, but you just make an adjustment until it doesn't smack. It's the light duty version. So yeah, I'll put it there, and then if you need to push it, it'll just make a dent in the wall. Now that I chipped the paint there now too. Woo, nice. Trying to avoid somebody already smashed this one. But this style, I couldn't, this pin doesn't come out. I don't know what this is. It's got a decorative on the bottom, but I don't know. I'll have to get one of the old school things that goes on the board and just goes. Got some other stuff going on in here I didn't show. I got these PEX tools. These are great. I like these with individual circular clamps that go on there. I got the fittings, clamp that up. I probably should shorten that. That's kind of tacky, but tripping hazard. Toilet's got a new gasket with rubber. I hope that's a good choice instead of wax. Nothing's bolted down yet. And I think I got all the fittings and such that I need to do this P-trap here for this guy. This is where measuring comes in, and that's not my strong suit. But I gotta cut a section of this pipe going up, and I have to cut that pipe in the wall to get the right, how do you do? And I had to get longer hoses because this is so tall now. And then I got the fittings to put on there too. So maybe I'll play with this. All right, I just cut this piece of pipe here. So it's got to do that. Now I can either move the vanity over. That ain't gonna happen. But if I shorten this pipe so that it's way in here, actually I can go like this. I have enough room to you know, make it like that and just straight. Yeah, I have plenty of length there to do that. And I think that is what I will do. So now, like I said, my strong suit of measuring, I have to figure out this length. And probably just eyeball it. This piece is already in, so I have to cut this in place. So I have to get a proper tool. Vibrating saw. Can't really go straight. Razor hacksaw. I got a nice hacksaw blade. It'd be nice. Okay. Oh, look out! More tripod excuses. All right, the sink is not bolted in, obviously, but I think I have it square. Yeah, so it's roughly anyway. So I got that cut. I'm gonna put that bend there. No, that's some garbage pipe. This is gonna go like this, and at the same time, like this. Oh yeah, look at that. Ugh. It says I can't measure. All I did was eyeball, and then I basically took, you know, the length of this whole assembly, and yeah, that's it. Cut it. Got a little lucky. I think you have a little bit to play with if you need to. You need the P-trap so sewer gas doesn't come up. This holds a little water, blocks the gas. I don't think this had one before. I think it was straight. But in the basement, there's one of those drum traps. So I think this is better to do both. And I didn't get the one with the little clean out here because it was $9 just for this elbow. Come on, people. So yeah, these will be hot and cold to here and here. I think I'll cut them a little lower. I've got plenty of length. This, and then obviously I got to get the cement to do this all right. And this still has to be tightened and all. So I'm proud of myself. Like I said, I don't think I've ever done this. Well, maybe a long time ago. But yeah, maybe I'll show you cutting these, doing those. All right, so here's what I got. I got some 3/8 OD 1/2 inch quarter turn stops. So that threaded will go on this end. The ball valve, in case you know what that is just a half a ball. And it's a quarter turn, which is nice. And that just goes on this guy when we cut it. I think I'm going to cut it wherever I want. Let's just go something accurate. Let me start here. I'm just going to leave, in case something happens and I got to redo it. Let's leave it long. So I'm just going to go right underneath the cap that he left me. There might be some air because this is still pressurized. When they did the leak test, I was like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's actually holding pressure, which is impressive. We obviously need to put the ring that comes with the tool. So you get your 3/8. They give you these rings, and this is a 1/2 inch. That looks huge though. So 3/4. I don't know. But so that goes over that. Like that. Why does that seem so small or big? I wonder if it's stretched. Maybe if I should go down further. It feels like it might be. I feel like you want it a little tighter than that. Now, let's go down a little further. When they stretch that to put the cap on. Looks like I got the wrong size. Seems a little tighter, actually. Oh, 3/8. That's what this stuff is, right? No. I thought the other one, when I did the toilet, I thought it was a little tighter, but so they say go up, leave about 1/8 of an inch from the top of the fitting. I think it'll spin even though it's tight when we're done, but let's get this in there. It's in the center of the tool, which it looks like it kind of is. Come up a yay bit right there. And it's just a simple like that. And how do you know it's good? All right, so it doesn't spin. I swear the one on the toilet spun. But they give you this gauge. It's called the go, no-go gauge. And this should fit, not fit. It should go about halfway, which it does. It only goes a little bit of the way. If it went like all the way, it's no good. So, hence the name, go, no-go. Yeah, let me check that one on the toilet. If it spins, it's no-go. Yeah, I guess this one will spin too. It's just really tight. I don't know. Obviously, got to check for leaks when you're done. But if that's as simple as it is with this tool, I like it. All right, another thing I got is some window film. Go on this window. I already cleaned this. Give it a double check. That just goes on with wet and just squeegee it out. And the reason we're doing it is you can probably see my neighbor right there on her porch just walked by. And yeah, I want a little privacy. All right, here's what we got: spray bottle of water, maybe a little soap, Starbucks card for a squeegee, a nice clean towel, and this be the stuff, which I kind of did wrong already. I pre-cut it. So it's got a little gap on one side of it, but one fits better than the other. Let's see, I think this is probably the bottom. Oh, that fits pretty good. Let's see. That looks pretty good. So that's what it's going to look like. Done. Do I want the top one tighter? All right, I'll just try one. Go from there. Running a looby-doob. It's probably like doing window tint in a car. You don't want this. You don't want this. So this side is smooth, obviously, to the glass. This side is textured, kind of like. But let's get it underneath that. As I said, you can cut the extra off afterwards, which makes perfect sense. Let's just use a rag at first to smooth out bubbles, and then maybe the squeegee afterwards. Afterwards. Well, I really don't need this because it's just going to move everywhere. Maybe we go right to the squeegee. Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the way to go. I don't know what that is. Dirt behind there, maybe? Yeah, I realized you guys couldn't even see what was going on because it was all just blown out, but obviously clear, frosted. You know, I didn't want to have the neighbor see me filming, so yada yada yada. There you go. Pretty easy to do. I wonder if a hairdryer would help it dry faster. They don't mention that though. Yeah, and I think that came out pretty damn good. Yeah, the key is just a lot of water. Squeegee it out. I use the rag. This is facing south, so it does get a lot of sun. We'll see how it holds up. I'll let you know. But yeah, doing a little follow-up. Cool. Had a little leak here. This is the drain I put in. I didn't redo this, and all the silicone is just dried out. So gotta reset that. My dad did come over. We checked all the plumbing, and this is all the fittings. Nothing, no leaks. Did the drain, flushed the toilet. Toilet's holding water, no leaks. So good to go. Yes, when they thought I was out, they sucked me back in. To this bathroom, that is. So apparently this sink I got off of the old marketplace is a rare bird because it doesn't have an overflow drain. And what that means is this piece is different. This piece is different. I had this all together and we were checking for leaks, and of course it was leaking out of here. And what it is this is made for an overflow drain. This is what was in there, so I don't know how this was not leaking for them. But water, you know, gets past here and was leaking. This part must have been under the sink, or this must have been threaded up halfway through. I don't know. But this is made for, you know, the overflow. It would come down, go through these, and then into the drain. I don't have that, so I can't use this. And do you think Home Depot stocks something like this in plastic? No. They have all these. They don't have the omitted ones. And the ones they had were metal, and they were $40. Lowe's as well. So where I went to my favorite store, which is where I'm only going to shop from now on, and that's probably why I don't have any sponsors and never will have any sponsors, is Amazon. Yeah, because you can get anything you want for the right price. This one's actually metal, and this was 40, 50 bucks at Home Depot. This was 12 on Amazon. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the world anymore. All right, I'm going to silicone a little bit because it comes with just like these. It comes with not rubber. We'll call it neoprene. Silicone. We'll call that silicone. Yeah, silicone gasket. And clean this up the best I could, and then there's like a foam gasket. But I just, the mechanic in me says just do a smear of a little silicone. Oh, and the other thing, speaking of silicone, let me show you this. Because of the way I had this, I had to break the caulking and get the sink up. I use this stuff, this AMP DAP kitchen bath sealant. And there's more here, like this whole front wasn't even in contact. Well, let's look at the sink. I guess in the back I did have some, but it all came off of here. So I had a little bit in the back, a little bit here, and a little bit here. And I was standing on this to hold the cabinet down with all my might, and I could not break that seal. So go sparingly with this sealant. I had to, you know, cut it with a razor blade really good, and then finally it broke free. But a little dab will do you with that stuff. All right, that's much better. So this is not working anymore. This is just there for looks. I could take it out, I guess. Bing, bang, boom. Could hook up the water. But this is cool. Look at this one. Even comes with a little, it's a basket for catching crap, and it's all push button. Huh? See if it works. I don't know. But that's going to be nice. Really nice.